Hi, my name is Rob Scott from CX Today News. Hope you're doing well. So today I'm joined by Jake Butterbaugh from Five9 and Doug Jones from AT&T, and they're going to be sharing their perspectives on the future of voice and how emerging technologies are reshaping voice as we know it. So welcome everybody.
Thank you.
Hi.
Great to see you both. Thanks for joining me. Really looking forward to today's session. Just before we do, however, Jake, do you want to give us a quick bio? Tell us a little bit about yourself, your company, and the partnership with AT&T.
Yeah, you bet. So welcome everybody. Hi, good to talk to you. Jake Butterbaugh, as you mentioned, from Five9. We are the intelligent cloud contact center platform. We've been around for a long time. Hopefully you've all heard about us. I run our Five9 Global Partner Organization, which means I have a relationship with our partners, big and small, our technology alliances, our strategic solutions providers like AT&T, who's been a phenomenal partner with us for years, and we look forward to the future.
Fantastic. Thanks for that. And Doug?
Yeah, hi, I'm Doug Jones. I'm with AT&T. Hopefully you've heard of us. We've been around for a while as well. We're excited to continue our partnership with Five9 in providing the best and most secure network connectivity for Five9's industry-leading contact center solutions.
Fantastic. Well, I know you know each other. You've known each other for a long time, which is great. You've been doing business together as company to company for a while now. So really keen to get stuck into this topic. But this is an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, one that CX leaders, I suppose, and business leaders generally are constantly tackling. What is the future of voice? Is it alive? Is it dead? Is it set to retire anytime soon? Or is it actually we're only just getting started with it? So we got some big questions to cover off today, but I'm really keen to get stuck in. So Doug, first of all, over to you. Can you first of all kind of elaborate on why voice continues to be an important aspect of customer communications despite the kind of proliferation of digital channels?
Yeah, absolutely. Contrary to popular belief, voice is not dead. Voice continues to be an important component for unified communication solutions, including contact center solutions. At the end, voice is still considered the most important mode of communications. You can have video communications and where you can see each other. You can have text communications where you can exchange information. But when it comes right down to it, if you can't talk to someone and you can't communicate with someone, then you don't have any communication left.
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally agree. And, as we kind of delve into the importance of kind of voice in building customer trust, that's a big part of it, isn't it? Building trust with customers. Could you kind of discuss, just quickly some instances where voice communication is kind of more preferred over digital means, especially for, the more complex queries, if you will?
Yep. I think you hit the word on the head right there, complex. So certainly no doubt that omnichannel has provided customers with more options with which to communicate, more modes of communication, and options to use the right communication based on what their needs are. For more transactional communications, where it's very simple communications, just looking for an exchange of information or status, then certainly there are more efficient modes with text chatting or instant messaging or some other modes for being able to collect that information. But for the more complex interactions, the more conversational interactions, the ones that require a conversation with someone because of the complexity of the interaction, that's where voice really remains to be a primary best form of communication.
Yeah, that does make perfect sense. And from your perspective, Jake, over on the contact center side, I mean, how has the kind of rapid evolution of voice-based AI technologies impacted the efficiency and kind of overall satisfaction of customers, would you say?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I'll just note what Doug opened with, I completely agree. Voice interactions are going to be a part of contact centers forever, in my mind. You have different personas of people that are going to reach into a contact center, whether it's an internal contact center or an external contact center, inbound or outbound. That voice experience is part of the equation, right? And so what we saw was with the digital channels and omnichannel, you saw supplemental workloads, if you will, or supplemental steps in the workflow. And AI is the ultimate evolution of that, right? So AI is the intelligence beyond the text channel or what have you. And with Five9, and I'm not trying to make a sales pitch for Five9, but with Five9, we kind of got a head start on our AI strategy with what we did in acquiring inference and then embedding the intelligent virtual agent, which is an AI-based solution in many scenarios. But we use that IVA capability to be that ultimate supplemental part of the workflow. So if you have a persona that wants to call in and do a simple workflow with an AI-based solution and get that knocked out without actually talking to an agent live, that gets done. And what that does do is it gives the agents, the people that are going to use their voice, the ability to have their interactions that are more personal be a higher priority. And in the ultimate AI scenario, you're able to actually take the interactive AI workflow and have that information flow to the agent in a nice seamless way, so that when you get the agent on the call, they're already smart. They've already answered all those questions. They don't have to ask those basic questions. They're now ready to solve your problem. And that's where we at Five9 are aspiring to deliver solutions in partnership with AT&T, so that it's a great seamless experience from AI to voice.
And that does make perfect sense also. I mean, certainly, we can't have a conversation nowadays without talking about kind of generative AI, and the kind of latest chat GPT style technologies. And what are the biggest opportunities right now for CX leaders, and maybe what are the challenges with technologies like generative AI?
Well, I think the biggest opportunity ultimately is to make sense of what the request is. Obviously, with any trend in technology, and Rob, you've been doing this for a long time. You and I have been doing this for a long time. We are looking for the trends in technology. And what happens is something like AI becomes the topic du jour. People want to talk about it all day. They want to say, well, I have an AI solution, and that's great. And business buyers, business users are always looking to solve their problems with something that's better. And that's where generative AI is now popular, because it is real. It is something that people can actually talk about. Here's my problem set, and I want to solve it with a solution, right? And what my goal is, and what we're trying to do, is we're trying to make those solutions work together and become very, very real today, right? So Five9 currently has 8 different solutions that we consider part of our AI portfolio, and they are very real. They are things that customers can actually use and actually have be a part of the workflows we just talked about. But it's cutting through the noise is to answer your quick question. Because we don't want people getting stuck trying to build the perfect generative AI strategy and never actually deploying a cloud contact center, right? So there's an ROI associated with it, that if you use AI intelligently, you can actually deploy your cloud contact center with a better total cost of ownership, better ROI story. But you could also get stuck. So we're trying to help make sure our customers don't get stuck.
Yeah, I suppose it's natural to think that, one technology should replace another pre-existing technology. And in fact, you just said it, working together, and you put AI in the mix, it complements everything else you've already got and all those other channels in your contact center. So Doug, from your perspective, voice is king, right? And, in the contact center, and as we already discussed, it will always be around. But what kind of technical and logistical challenges might businesses be facing right now with integrating voice and all these other communication channels?
It's a good question. And AI doesn't mean is not mutually exclusive with voice. There's a lot of overlap between AI and voice, where there are certain modes of communication are driven by AI that can be via text or other means, but still from a customer or end user perspective, the person calling is still using voice to talk to the IVA. And from an end user perspective, they're getting voice back. It may be generated by AI, but it's still voice. So you still got voice as that mode of communication, which continues to be important even in an AI-based environment.
Can I just quickly jump in, Rob? Sorry to interrupt, but I love that answer that Doug just gave, and I'm not just saying that because I've known Doug for a long time, but one of the keys is it's the quality of the voice. And that is where Five9 and AT&T come together. Even in an AI solution, you want a quality sound and experience. And I think that's critical. And I just wanted to throw that word in the mix.
And back over to Doug on that one. Doug, how do we deliver this? How do we deliver that quality kind of omni-channel strategy that we're talking about with voice being a major player in the mix here?
Right. I think it's picking the right solution that incorporates the reliability, the security, and the performance of the voice component of communication at the core. I believe it has to do with the network solution that's in place, the platform that's in place, and the reliable connectivity you have between those two worlds, how they're paired together in order to provide the best experience for their customers using that platform.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, the kind of challenges that we're facing now as contact center leaders. For example, they have a lot more to think about, don't they, with contact centers and now with AI, contact center channels and now AI in the mix. I wanted to kind of quickly ask you both, I suppose, privacy and security considerations. What kinds of things do we need to be thinking about, and what risks are potentially attached to these decisions to expand their contact centers with all these other channels and capabilities? Doug, what would you say on that one?
Well, certainly privacy and security are a top objective requirement for our joint solutions. From a voice perspective, we take security very seriously and have security built into our entire network. So customers can be confident that you have security from the endpoint, from your phone, all the way through the AT&T network, and through our special peering relationship that we have with Five9, all the way through the network over a private peered connection, all the way over to the Five9 platform. And therefore, you've got end-to-end security for the voice component. But I know that, Jake, you and Five9 take privacy and security very seriously as well, and you have quite a few things built into your platform to maintain that security and to add the privacy for other modes of communication.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point. You have different types of standards that you have to follow. You have your physical, your network, your data controls, even your process controls, from ISO and all that kind of stuff. And obviously, it's a focus of ours. We have the benefit of originally being a cloud contact center solution, and we're not actually in the process of migrating from a legacy technology, a prem or a hosted solution to cloud. We've been cloud for a long time. Or we've always been cloud, I guess I should say. So we've always had that level of privacy and, cloud-based best practices as part of our requirements. And so when we added our IVA, when we've added our AI solutions, we've been able to have that focus from compliance monitoring, audits, and ultimately from the overall technical solution perspective. But it's an ongoing process, right? It's a global process. There are slight nuances to different privacy controls and specific controls that are needed from Canada to the UK to Germany to wherever else we're deploying it. So the key would be having a plan to have it be a core part of your solution and making sure that it is across the entire platform, including the network. And that's where AT&T and Five9 have built a history of success over the last several years. Fully have a plan going forward.
That's why it makes such a great partnership, isn't it? End-to-end peace of mind, I think, and trust in the brands that you're working with. I think that's absolutely key nowadays, isn't it? Jake, crystal ball time. I mean, what impact do you see voice communication having, on contact center trends in the next few years?
All right, so I will simply say this. I fully expect to continue to see voice growth in the Five9 contact center environment. Okay. I really do. I know that there is a period, and there was a period where people wanted to talk about how agents are going to be replaced, right? Let's get rid of as many agents as possible to replace them with interactive technologies of whatever type they are, AI or otherwise. That by no means is our growth strategy at Five9. Our growth strategy is to grow both. Okay. So I mentioned it earlier. there is obviously a lot of growth in interactive workflows. There's obviously a ton of growth in omnichannel and AI and IVA kind of capabilities. It's a huge part of our strategy. We talk about it all the time. But the contact centers of the future are not cost centers. The contact centers of the future are truly about service. And it's about service equaling business outcomes and business outcomes equaling revenue and Wall Street value, or at least corporate value, right? You serve your customers well, they stay with you. You serve your customers well, they tell somebody else about it. If you have customers that call in and want to talk to you, you talk to them. You talk to them with a great experience. You supplement them with predictive analytics. You listen to them from an AI strategy perspective, from an agent assist perspective. But contact centers aren't there just to be a cost burden. They are truly there to add real value. And in my world, maybe I'm old, I don't think so, but in my world, people are still going to talk. They're going to want to have real conversations when it's about their financing, their personal financing, when it's about their luxury retail experience, when it's about whatever it is that they may need. They want to talk to somebody and have a real experience. So in my mind, crystal ball, let's keep both sides growing. Let's be successful. Let's focus on quality, and let's focus on delivering like real business value.
Yeah, I love that as well. And I'm all for engaging, meaningful conversation. I think that's what makes the world go round, isn't it? And that's what gets stuff done, and certainly complex inquiries.
I am talking to the real Rob Scott, right? You're not an avatar. We're having a real conversation, right?
I might be. Doug.
Wait, you're still talking. You're still talking. You're still using voice.
Exactly, and I will be for a long time, yeah, I'm sure. Doug, anything to add to that in terms of the kind of future of voice in customer communication?
And I think just like we're saying, even if you were an avatar, you're still talking, and we're still using voice to communicate. And I think that's the key. Voice is here to stay. As Jake said, it's certainly a interesting time in the contact center space. Interesting solutions being developed, interesting technologies. And certainly voice will evolve in that solution, but it certainly will not be replaced. In the end, you're always going to need to have the voice communication. Always going to have the customers going to need that. Yes, they might be able to text with somebody or email with somebody, but in the end, if they really need to talk to somebody, they're going to need to have that capability and be able to communicate via voice to their customer.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great place to finish today's session. So I am afraid that's all we've got time for today. However, if you're interested in finding out more, we're going to put some more information in the description and some links in there too. Hey, thanks to Jake and Doug. Good to see you. It's been great talking to you today.
Thank you, Rob.
Thanks for the opportunity, Rob.
And thanks to everyone for watching CX TV. If you've got some good takeaways from today's session, do give us a quick mention on social and subscribe to our channel for more industry news and insights. I'm Rob Scott from CX Today.